Hello, I'm Aquatic and welcome back to the video. Today we're going to talk about one of the biggest surprises of the 1.5 Aquatic update that is now out for Minecraft Bedrock platforms and is soon to come out for both Java and consoles. The interesting thing about this update is one of the features contained within that seems rather silly on the surface is the turtle shell. You look at it and you think, okay, you can put this on your head and like, so what? It doesn't seem so great because it's not as good as Diamond, right? But the truth is the turtle shell, the turtle helmet, is actually one of the best items you can find in this update. I would argue it's the best piece of armor that does exist in the game, and let me explain why that is in today's video and also explain how you get it, because it is one of the strangest processes for any items in the game, especially any pieces of armor. So here is how you get a turtle shell, here is why it is the best piece of armor in the game. I hope you all enjoyed the video, but let's jump straight into it. So the first thing you need to know about getting the turtle shell, which is, again, it's called the turtle helmet in the game itself in terms of the game code, but the game officially calls it the turtle shell. So for now, we'll just talk about it like that, because if you want to get one of these, you're going to need to find yourself some turtles. So sea turtles spawn mostly around beaches, so as you can see, we're on a beach right now, so we find a bunch of sea turtles, and then boom, you can see how, once you found some sea turtles, which I did with spawn eggs, but if you look around for some sea turtles, they'll look like this. Then what you're going to need is to find some seagrass. So funny enough, turtles are the two easiest mobs to breed in the game, because seagrass is so wildly, frequently found just around where they spawn. Like seriously, they spawn on beaches. You know what's literally right next to beaches? Seagrass. So you need two seagrass, one for each sea turtle, and you feed one to each, and then that allows two turtles to breed. However, the reason this gets into such a complex process, the reason it's one of the weirdest ways that two animals are made, it's like a weird runabout process, is because of the fact that you actually need to not only breed the two turtles, like I've just done, but you need to wait for them to actually go off and breed. So unlike every other animal where you'd expect like a baby turtle to pop out and then you'd be done with it, this is no magic stuff. There's actually a tiny bit of realism, annoying realism if you ask me, that goes on with turtles, because what needs to happen is once they've bred together, which I don't know if that even worked correctly, once they've bred together, you need to wait for them to go off and find their home beach. That's right, sea turtles are very territorial and they want to go find somewhere that's home, because they don't want to go create a baby turtle right in front of you. They want to go find a nice private beach and do it in the comfort of their own home. So yeah, that's what they're going to go do. They're going to go find their home beach, which is the one they spawned on. In my case, it's more complex because of spawn eggs, but for now, let's just say they go off and at some point way in the future, that eventually create sea turtle eggs. So yeah, if you want to get these, especially more than one of these, you need to breed a bunch of turtles together, which makes it a good thing that seagrass is so widely found. So now you've got your sea turtle egg. Again, this is a multiple step process. You want to wait for the sea turtle eggs to hatch. So there's a few ways you can do this, but I mean the biggest way is you wait because it's time. And yeah, just as a fun little fact here, because I have a sea turtle egg in my inventory, you might question how I got that. And the long story short is that, fun fact, you can actually silk touch up sea turtle eggs. So again, it's counterintuitive, doesn't seem like it should be the case, but you actually can silk touch the eggs and you get them back. So boom, there you go, you can do that, and then I can put it in the big pile over here. So we're going to wait for these 3 separate turtles, because you can put 4 in one spot to hatch, but for now, let's just assume, boom, that they hatch, they grow into a baby turtle, then eventually the baby turtle drops something called a scute. So this scute is, if curious as to why it's called scute, scute is the little markings on their shells. They slowly are shedded by the turtles as they grow up, and in Minecraft, as a baby turtle becomes a big adult turtle, so once this becomes this, you'll eventually get one of these dropped in the meantime. So, there's like the 3 stages of turtle, and once you get 5 of these scutes, that's right, there's so many steps in this process, you can finally make the turtle shell, also known as the turtle helmet. Again, can we just call it the turtle helmet? No, we have to call it the turtle shell. So yeah, the turtle shell is what you get when you make that. So yeah, that is how you get yourself the turtle shell in Minecraft, but why would you want to do all of that? That seems like such a long and ridiculous process. Like, you turned off your brain halfway through because, it's too many steps, don't want to do it, would rather do easier stuff, right? But no, the truth is, you want to do this in Minecraft because if you put one on your head, one, it is the second best piece of equipment in the game that can go on your head. There is only one piece of head armor better, and that's the diamond helmet. So if you look at my my armor bar right now, you'll see how it's 8.5. That's with all iron plus a bit of diamond. And if we replace the diamond helmet with the turtle helmet, it's only half of an armor bar less. So again, admittedly, this is the same as iron. It's also the same as chain and as gold, I believe. Although that's not saying too much. It's tied second technically. The fact that a turtle shell is even tied second with iron is pretty darn good, and it also has more durability than iron. So objectively better than iron, objectively better than every other piece of armor. And the only one that almost beats it is diamond, except the one key thing that turtle shell helmets have that diamond helmets do not is the fact that you can swim underwater for much, much longer effectively. So again, let's just bear in mind that I actually have underwater breathing because of the conduit nearby, so it won't come up too often. But basically, if you have the scute on your head, you always have 10 seconds of water breathing. The 10 seconds, if you have the turtle helmet on your head, that 10 seconds always resets whenever you jump into the water, or jump out of the water, I should say, which leads to the rather interesting situation where you basically have 2 bubble meters, because your regular bubble meter, the thing that happens when you start drowning, that only has 10 seconds of oxygen in it. So, as basically what I'm saying here is as soon as your 10 seconds of water breathing runs down, you have 10 more seconds, again, as soon as the conduit runs out, you have 10 more seconds to breathe, and it might seem like, oh, so you can breathe underwater for double as long. That's not really worth the trade-off of diamonds. Well, 1, it doesn't take diamonds, so it totally is, but 2, here's the reason it's so much better than diamonds. The moment you surface allows you to go right back down and gives you another 10 seconds with which to do your thing, and the reason that's so valuable is because it means that not only do you have double as long underwater, which is nice by itself, but you also get instant refills at the surface. And the way that works, again, this is kind of complex to explain, but I'm going to try my best anyway. Basically, if you don't have the helmet on, you have 10 seconds of oxygen. So let's just take it off for now. You have 10 seconds of oxygen, 10 bubble bars, as you can see. You go underwater, and you have a certain amount of time. Oh, we've kept the effect, but you have 10 seconds underwater, and then once those 10 seconds run out, or let's just say 5 seconds run out, like we'll let happen now, then you have to wait a few seconds at the top of the water to, breathe in, like, you've just basically choked to death, so it's gonna be like, and, so as you can see, I go to the surface of the water, and I have to wait 2, 3, 4, I have to wait 4, and I assume 5 seconds if I let it deplete entirely, and that's a long time to wait underwater. However, if you have the turtle shell helmet, those 5 seconds can be waited while underwater. So as you can see right here, the water breathing effect allows me to get those seconds of oxygen back while I'm underwater. You can effectively breathe underwater with this, refill your bar, and although you do have to surface every 20 seconds by default, the fact that you're only trading off 4% armor reduction, because that's the difference between this and the diamond shell, basically means it's to me, if you're ever underwater and you don't have conduits, because if you do, it's a harder comparison, then this is the one for me. And also, one other cool thing about them is, you might not know this, but turtle shell helmets are actually enchantable. You can actually take any enchantment that would work on a regular helmet, you can put them on here. So, respiration, to give you way more time underwater, we'll take that. Do you want to have protection on there as well? To give you way more protection, narrow the gap between this and diamond. And in fact, if you have protection on both this and diamond, the gap is, again, much, much smaller. I want to have thorns, so if people hit you, it hurts them bad too. Guess what? You can totally do that. You can make a mega turtle shell helmet. And if you have this helmet, this is the single best helmet I believe that exists in the game. But, again, technically speaking, because there's some benefits to having the diamond one if you're only in combat, but if you spend any time underwater whatsoever and you don't have a conduit, this is just the easy answer as far as I'm concerned. Seriously, this thing allows you to breathe again. So in my case, this one allows me to be hit by stuff, do damage back to it. It allows me to absorb an extra 80% of damage on top of the fact that it already absorbs some, and then on top of that, it allows me to get 10 free seconds of water breathing, which is so useful for seeing underwater, but also in terms of my bubble meter, as you can see right here, goes down much slower than it would otherwise. So the 10 extra seconds, on top of the fact that it gives me, and I think it's extra 45 seconds underwater, basically means that breathing is something I have to worry about on a very narrow basis. And when you do need to breathe, weird fact by the way, look, I've got some random iron ore just floating here. Oh, this is because it's a world conversion, so there's just some weird edge of the world glitches, so we'll just ignore that. But still, basically, being able to live underwater indefinitely, the turtle shell helmet is just going to help that. So what is the best helmet in the game? If you're in a pure combat situation, if you're playing PvP on a server or something like that, sure, make the diamond helmet because you're probably not paying diamonds anyway. But if the choice is to pay 5 scutes, which are easy enough to collect once you get a farm going, which, by the way, maybe we should, work on a design for that sometime. But, once you have 5 scutes or 5 diamonds, to me, it's such an obvious choice. The one that gives you almost the same helmet, except with a little less durability, but gives you 10 seconds more underwater, and gives you the ability to instantly refill the bar when you get to the surface. To me, it seems like a no-brainer. But I want to hear your opinions in the comments down below. What do you think? Do you think it's a bit convoluted how you make it? Do you think it's the best helmet in the game? Or do you think this is some crazy ploy to make you click the video, because that's what I guess that's what like 90% of YouTubers these days. But yeah, let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. But for now, hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe, notifications turned on, because over the next few days I'll be covering all of the aquatic features. There's even a playlist linked down below where you can see every single one of them. And again, later we'll also be talking about the console edition specifically, because I know a lot of you are hyped for that. This will apply to that too. But yeah, let's talk about that tomorrow. For now, see you all there. Bye.